Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Chronicle, where I'm growing out my facial hair. Yeah, for No Shave November, I will not be shaving, hence the name of the game. Why did I do this? Great question. I think I'd never like genuinely tried to grow out my facial hair. I kind of tried for like a little while when I was 18, but like I think I just low key like gave up like very quickly because one thing I want to know is like how do I know like when my facial hair has grown out as much as it possibly can? Because when I was 18, I felt like I just wasn't getting much, but like maybe I just needed to wait longer. Now, right now, I know it's growing out way more than it did before. And like I can literally feel it getting longer every day because like I can feel it like when I bend, like when I look down like this, and I'll be like, oh, it feels a little bit longer. And then the next day I look down and I'm like, oh, it feels a little bit longer. And then on here it feels a little bit longer. And then there's more on my cheeks as well. You can see like right there, and then like you can't really. I think you can see like there. Um, but yeah, so I'm growing it out. I don't think it looks too bad. I feel like it doesn't match my usual hairstyles. That might sound weird. I'm like looking at it now. It looks fine. Right now I've got the right part. Um, but like I feel like I like just the way it is Asher doesn't have facial hair. Asher doesn't have a beard. Like in my head, that's me. I don't have that. So it feels a little weird to like see me with facial hair. Like now I'm looking at myself and it's like I think this is what I would look like in a show if they just tried to do a time skip and like age me up because I look the same. I just have a beard now. Beard. I think if I have a middle part, when I have a middle part, I think the beard looks better with the middle part because in my head, the older version of me has like big long flowy hair and a beard because I was trying to imagine what my hair would look like grown out because I am also going to try and grow out my hair, see how long I can get it. And I'm also going to try and grow out my facial hair, right? So then I was like, what would that look like? And in my head, I would have the middle part because once your hair gets long enough, I'm pretty sure you can pretty much only do a middle part. Like you can do a side part with like really long hair, right? But I feel like it just looks bad, straight up. So I would prefer a middle part. And speaking of that, I think I'll probably stop wearing the middle part until my hair gets really long because like I said, I'm not going to be able my hair once it gets long enough, it won't be able to look like this. If I try and do this, it'll look weird. It'll look different. It won't look like I can't get this style once my hair is long. So I think I'm gonna discontinue the middle part until I have to use the middle part. Um, yeah, that was a very long intro. Especially because I am trying to keep this shorter, like I do every single time. But now I'm really trying to keep this short. I'm trying to lock in because like I've got a couple goals on that I added, which are pretty much just locking in. Great segue into the goals. I got two done this week. Doctor, I actually got insurance, my own insurance, and called the doctor. And well, I didn't call the doctor. I called like the front desk, and I skid or wait, I don't even know if it was the front desk because I called and then they're like, whatever. Point is, I made a call. I got the appointment scheduled. I went to the appointment. I got a prescription. That's not a cure all, right? Don't celebrate too early. They gave me a prescription, but like they don't know what's wrong yet, and neither do I. Which is why I went to the doctor trying to figure out what's wrong with my stomach. Um, I think, yeah, I do mention it in the journal, so I think I'll hold off talking about it until then. But yeah, I got a doctor's appointment and went to it. I think they're gonna call me back and I'll schedule more. Also, I got a Mac, so now I can produce music. And I was talking to computer science earlier today, and he was like, "You're gonna use GarageBand?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'm sure there's better things you can invest in than GarageBand." And I was like, "Well, I already invested in the Mac, and I don't know why. I think it's my overactive survival instinct telling me I can't spend money. I definitely could buy another digital audio workspace or a DAW. I could buy a better DAW for sure. I have the money. Um, but GarageBand is free. I don't actually know how to use GarageBand. I've used Logic and or is it technically Logic Pro? And I've used Pro Tools for digital audio workspaces. And so I've never used GarageBand, but I'm sure it's free. It's free, so I would assume it's easy. Digital DAWs aren't very easy, like at all. I was gonna like unabbreviate. I was gonna go digital audio workspace, but that's like really long. Also, you can see it. It's technically in frame. Yeah. You see that? You see that little right here? Can you see it? It's like silver. Uh, Yeah, it's there. I have it. I set it up. I haven't done anything with it yet. Um, I didn't buy a MIDI interface, which I really should have done. I'll talk about that when I get to the journal. But yeah, so I got the Mac and I got the doctor's appointment. And those are like, well, the doctor specifically, that's like a big deal. Like in my head, I was like, wow, I really did that. Like it's like I was surprised that I actually did that. I was like, I honestly, I didn't think I'd make it this far. Not in life, but like to the point where I call a doctor. Like I didn't think it's like now that I've done it, I'm like, wow, that was so easy. But it's like in the past, in my head, I was like, oh my gosh, doctor, appointment, insurance, money, no, impossible. So it's cool that I actually did that. Okay, so goals. I didn't do the guitar catch up. That kind of sucks. I really need to do that. How many weeks has that been up there? One, two. Is that two X's? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10, 11. Something like 12 weeks. That's definitely enough time to do all my guitar catch up. Um, yeah, dailies. Okay, fail the dailies goal again. Dailies goal? Yeah. Um, that's tough. I think that's the six. Yeah, I think there's six X's on there now. I made another goal this week to do my dailies first. So that's going to apply to the following week, the one that starts tomorrow. Because that's how it works. Is like you put the goal on there, and then you don't mark on anything on it until next week, unless you complete it. Because like I did do that with the state goal. I put it on there and then completed it like same day. So with the dailies first goal, that's it. I'm gonna come home from work or wherever, and I'm gonna do my dailies. I'm gonna do all of them, and then I'm gonna do other things, and that's how it's gonna work. I also made a goal. The goal is to make my bed straight up after I wake up. Um, that's not like that might seem weird, but it's to try and like kind of kickstart my day a little bit because I keep coming in late to work and I was like, why does that keep happening? It's because I snooze my alarm twice. Well, whenever I wake up. So I'm like, okay, instead of snoozing my alarm, I'll just wake up immediately, which is probably gonna be really hard. And then I will make my bed. Because like something I realized, I made my bed when Ink came over earlier in the week, and I was like, wow, a made bed looks really nice. And now, like, once I got old enough to where my parents weren't like hounding me to make my bed every day, I stopped, and I was like, wow, it's really nice. Like, it's nice to like not make my bed every day. But I was like, wait, it looks nice to make my bed every day, and it's not even that hard. Like my bed is super simple. It's like a super simple bed frame. It's literally just some wood that's like bolted together, right? So it's like it's not inconvenient or difficult at all to just like straighten out the blanket, tuck corner. I don't tuck corners. I just straighten it out and make it look nice. And I think it would be good to start my day. And hopefully, I don't know, start me off right for the day or whatever. Another goal, Pepsid. So I am still trying to fix my stomach problem. Haven't tried Pepsid in a while. I tried it in the past. It worked until I took it when I probably shouldn't have, and then it didn't work, or then it made it worse. But it was good to start when I started it. So I'm gonna try it again. I said, was it the doctor said I could take it with my prescription? He gave me sucralfane. I forget what it's called. It's kind of like an antacid. And he was like, you can take it with Pepsid as well. So I did that today. I don't think I talked about it in the journal, so I can talk about it now. I took Pepsid and I took this. I think it's sucralfane. The doctor pronounced it. I think he accidentally added an extra A to make it sucralfane, and I think the person at CVS did that too. But I looked at it. It looks like sucralfane. Um, yeah. So I took that. I've taken that twice. I was supposed to take it four times a day, but that's like really difficult because it's got rules with like when you can take it and when you can't. Um, but I took a Pepsid and sucralfane. Stomach hasn't been too bad. Um, it felt kind of weird earlier today during rock climbing. Actually, I'll stop talking about my stomach. Still got the goals to talk about. Workout goal is still frozen. The handstand didn't make any progress on that sadly. I had a new goal: whistle. The goal is to learn how to whistle. I don't know how to whistle. I'm gonna try and learn. And then the resin goal still in progress, if you can believe it. How many? 7 weeks were going on. He talked to me about it earlier this week, and he was like, he had this idea to like try and reconstruct the pieces into the original shape of a controller. And I'm like, bro, there is not enough pieces there. You can't do that. Of course, I didn't tell him that. I just said, yeah, that wouldn't work. But yeah, so I'm pretty sure he's still working on that. And then the November and the winter goal, and then yeah, that's all the goals. Okay, journal time. Monday. Today felt fairly normal. Work was long because we had multiple people call out, so by the time I got to Dad's house for yard work, it was dark. and he had a light, but he had to return a rental tool, so I didn't actually get to help. I stuck around for piano and laundry, and then came home and did my dailies. I'm also trying out the slick back hairstyle, and I think it'll look really good once I comb all the hairspray out. And then the quote is, I'm making conversation that I give a 7 out of 10. And that is song lyrics, actually, from just a song that I found. I think it was that week, earlier this week, that I found it, and I really liked it. Yeah, so Monday, Monday, that day, was long because I think we had like 3 people call out. We had one person on vacation. We had one person call out because their stomach hurt. I don't really believe that. Pretty sure she's a liar. She's done that in the past where she says, oh, my stomach hurts. And then she later admitted that she lied just so she could sleep in. Anyway, so we had one person on vacation, one person call out, and then did this person also call out? Who was the other person missing that day? Oh yeah, one of them was sick. Yeah, one of them was sick. So we were down 3 people, so work was long, and the daytime is getting shorter. So by the time I got to Dad's yard work, it was dark. And like I said, there was a light, so he could have worked, but he was laying bricks, and that is complicated. It's not super easy. There's like a lot of steps involved. So like he couldn't just be like, hey buddy, lay bricks while I go return this, because like it's a process. And we got to make sure everything's even and level, and there's like tools. So it didn't help that day, but stuck around for a little bit. And then dailies. Oh yeah, so now that my hair is longer, I can do the slick back hairstyle. It's technically like there's no part at all, kind of. So what after I get out the shower, I dry it off, and then I just like just hairspray, just like everywhere, or just a bunch of hair gel, just like whoosh. And like it kind of makes my head look like a ball, which is kind of cool actually. And I liked it. I liked the way that looked. The thing is it did not hold. I don't think that my hairspray or my hair gel have nearly enough strength to hold back all of my hair, like overnight. Because I think, yeah, because I usually shower in the evening, right? So I don't know if they're strong enough to hold it like during the day. I guess I didn't try reapplying the product, but the thing is, I don't like applying the product to my dry hair. It just feels really bad to me. Um, so I usually sleep with the product in. Uh, but yeah, by the time I woke up, it's the natural middle part on my head starts to show, and then it just looks like I have a middle part, even though I tried the slick back. So I really do like doing the slick back, and I think my grandpa technically has a slick back. My grandpa on my dad's side, something I thought about, and I was like, what product does he use? And also, what I wondered is how long is his hair actually? Because I wouldn't think he has long hair, but he does have a slick back. So I'm like, if he were to just take like one of his hairs and like do this, how long would it actually be? Yeah, and I kind of wanted to add the slick back to like my rotating hairstyles because I've got left part, middle part, right part. I also have the mohawk, which I like to call the dorsal fin. And then you see I was getting long in the back here. What I tried was I tried putting in some hairspray and then like making it flare, and it kind of worked. It was kind of cool, but I mean, it kind of does that naturally a little bit. You can see. Um, so yeah, slick back. Probably gonna need stronger hairspray. I didn't try pomade, but I think that's meant for shorter hair, so I might have to use like a ridiculous amount to the point where it's not really worth it. But it might work because I think it does have a pretty strong hold. Um, yeah, and that was Monday. Tuesday after work. Let me get it over here. Today after work, I went to the Apple store and bought a MacBook Air. I was also going to buy a MIDI interface, but I'm going to see if I can get away without buying one. I probably can't, but it's worth a shot. After that, I called the doctor and scheduled an appointment for this Friday, so that's hopefully one step closer to solving my stomach problem. I also finished the Action Bible today. And the quote is, only took 10 years. Yeah, because that's about, like, I discovered the Action Bible at a friend's house. I'm not friends with them anymore because our parents didn't like each other. So, like, I guess we just couldn't be friends anymore or something. That's, like, way in the past. That's deep Asher lore. Like, they don't have nicknames. I'd have to think of nicknames for them. So I can't, like, they were just friends that I used to have. Anyway, I first saw the Action Bible at their house, and I was like, whoa, this is so cool. I want this. Of course, I didn't take it or anything. But I'd always wanted to, like, read the whole thing. And I didn't tell anyone specifically, but I think I was probably, like, at the dinner table at Dad's house, and I was like, if someone buys me an Action Bible, I will read all of it. And I did. It only took about 10 years. Like, was it? Because I tried when I was 17, and I got about halfway through. I know I've talked about that before, so I won't explain it all again. But on my second attempt, I read it all the way through. I honestly thought it would take longer. But like I always read 20 minutes at a time. And it was like it was entertaining. I liked it. It was a lot of fun. What else? Oh yeah, I cannot get away without the MIDI interface. For some reason, that frickin' thing, the piano, has a USB-B port on it, which is the old Android chargers. And I was like, what on earth uses that port anymore? And I looked at more modern ones online. They still have the USB-B port on the back, and I'm like, why? I think it has like some kind of large looking aux port. So like I think I can hook that up to the MIDI interface. I ordered the MIDI interface because I need that. It doesn't even have a USB-C port on the back of it. That thing. Whoop, where is? There it is. Yeah, so I need that. And then okay, so MacBook MIDI. No, schedule time. Schedule time. No, dark supplement. Yeah. Um. Yeah, so it took me forever to read the Action Bible, but I did it. I kept my promise, and I read it. And now I think you can see it right there. See that? That says Action Bible right there. Yeah, the Action Bible. I read it. I loved it. A lot of fun. Wednesday, I had scheduled time with Penguin after work today, and I only felt a couple hits of nausea while I was there, but I was super weak and tired because I didn't eat anything after work. I had food on me, but I was honestly too scared to eat because I didn't want to be nauseous with food in my stomach. Anyway, after all that, I came home and did my dailies, and I'm going to bed on time, for better or for worse. And the quote is, eat the roach. So that's funny. Yeah, so schedule time with Penguin. Still don't know why I get nauseous around her. I told her that I get nauseous around her, and she was like, "Oh, damn, that sucks. Have you tried nausea medication?" And I was like, is nausea medication even real? And is it not just Tums?" The answer is yes and no. Um, Tums could help. I haven't tried it, like, around her, but it's like, that just sounds too easy. Like, oh, you're nauseous? Like, take Tums. Like, is that how it works? I know I haven't used it, like I haven't conducted thorough research with how it works. Like with like just with how I feel like all the time. Um, but I think now that I've told her about it, I think it'll go away. Like I have no proof for that, but I just have a feeling that now that I've told her that I'm nauseous around her, it'll just go away. Like maybe after time. Like I said, no proof for that. It's just a feeling. Um, but yeah, I think it'll get better. Like I said, I just think and feel that. I don't know why. Because I think maybe trying to hide it, hiding it definitely felt bad. Because like I was literally just like clenching my jaw, just like like panicking inside my head internally, completely freaking out, being like, "Oh my god, do I need to run to the bathroom right now?" You know. Um. So yeah, I think now that because like I don't have to hide it, but I guess I never technically had to hide it in the first place. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, I will not be explaining the quote because it's so funny. Thursday, I had lessons after work, and that pretty much sums up my entire day. I was so tired today I didn't even do my dailies, but of course I already failed those for the week. My older brother texted me that evening, and we had a fairly nice conversation about relationships and lack thereof. And then the quote is, "I am! Take it away from me!" Yeah, so Thursday, I think I technically failed my dailies on like Monday, which was like an awful start. Um, but I didn't do them Thursday because I was so tired. Yeah, and then my older brother, yeah, older brother texted me out of the blue. He was like, "Hey, what's up?" I think he was just like doing a little, just like a, like a check-in. He was just seeing how things were going. He was like, "You got a girlfriend? You seen anyone?" I was like, "No." Um, yeah, one thing I want to talk about is I mentioned before I don't share everything with the Chronicle, um, on purpose. I do share just about everything with the journal. Or in the past, when I got Jorbil the first right here, I said I'm not going to share everything with the journal, right? But like I had only thought that because it felt like I had a lack of privacy, and I was like, why do I feel like that? Because as a kid, my younger brother, he would like rifle through my stuff all the time, and he would just like having him around made me feel like couldn't have anything like private or to myself. Like I have a literally a wooden lockbox. It's like this big, a wooden box with a lock on it because of him. So I was like, I'm not going to share everything with the journal. It's only going to be things I'm comfortable telling to literally anyone. And then I changed that rule. That rule applies to the Chronicle now, where I'm only going to tell the Chronicle things that I'm comfortable telling literally anyone. And then the journal can hold everything. Uh, but like, it would feel better, right? It would feel better and worse, right, to be able to share everything with the Chronicle. I think it would also be more entertaining, and it would also sort of fulfill one of the things that I want to do on the Chronicle, which is just like to be real and to be myself, right? Like I want to be authentically myself on the Chronicle, right? And I can still do that. Like I can still withhold, some things without like I can still withhold some things and still be myself, right? And then my mom, she was like, "You can don't worry about it, buddy. Just tell the Chronicle everything." And I was like, "That's cool," but it's like, oh my gosh, there's some things that I'm like, it's like why? It's like don't talk about that, or like I don't know, because like it would be nice to share everything with the Chronicle, but it's like there's at least one thing I can think of that I do not want to tell the Chronicle, um, because my parents watch it. Uh, God. And like now they could ask me about that. They'd be like, "Hey, buddy, don't worry about it. It's fine." And I'll be like, "Is it though?" Like the Chronicle would be much more entertaining if I told it everything, and like you would know I think more about me if I told it everything. But it's like, I don't know if I want to do that. I want to do that, but I have reasons not to do that. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And then the quote, I am exclamation point, take it away from me, exclamation point. So I've talked about how my coworkers will just literally hit the cart. They'll just be high at work. I don't know how high they are, but I know they're high at work because I see them hitting the cart on the 10 a.m. break. And I don't think it's an issue. And I think our boss knows about it. I would assume so. We live in Missouri where it's legal and they're all of age. Um, and I'm almost there. But my coworker had this cart, and she was like, "Oh, this cart, like you can't get this from a dispensary. This is a dealer cart. Like a dealer has to give this to you." I was like, "What? So is it like high dosage?" I was just curious about like the cart and like its any unique properties that it might have because it was special from a dealer and you can't get it from a dispensary. I was like, "Does that make it like extra illegal or something?" Because it's like it's still weed, but weed's legal in Missouri, which is where we work. And I was just curious, asking questions about it. She was like, "Do you want it?" And I was like, "Kinda." Because like I said, it's a factory job. You hardly need half a brain to do that thing. So like I think hitting the car because that was also my stomach was feeling really bad that day. Um, so I was like hitting the cart would probably just be a net positive. I know there would be like minor repercussions for like my lungs maybe because it's like heavy metal or something. And also like uh, oh yeah, it's illegal because I'm underage. Like that was like my brain was like, no, 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 don't hit the cart. And I was like hesitant. Like I said, kinda, because I did kind of want it. And then she like literally walked up to me. She like put it in my hand, and then like I barely like I didn't even close my hand. She just put it there. And then my other coworker was like, "You look like you're scared of it." And I was like, "I am. Take it away from me. I don't want it." Because I was trying to decide in my head, right? Because I think it's what's called a guilty conscience, where it's like because it is technically illegal, even though realistically it wouldn't be the worst, my brain's like, no, 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 don't do it. So I didn't do it. That's where that quote comes from. Friday. The day after work, I stopped by Aldi to get some food for me and Ink before our hangout today. We played games on my Switch and had a little drink. It was very fun. That's about all. Oh, and I had my doctor's appointment today. It went well, and they did a few things like taking my blood, breath, and an x ray or two. Ink said that x rays were super expensive and it was like low key scaring me, but I have insurance, so hopefully it's okay. And there's no quote at the end of that. Yeah, for some reason, Ink, she was like, "Oh, X-rays? Those are super expensive, bro." Like, my parents had X-rays for like my brother or whatever, and like even after insurance, it was like super expensive. And I was like, "Stop, stop telling me this. Why are you telling me this? Like, I pay rent, man. I can't just like pay $1,000 for a doctor's appointment." Now it's like if that's such an issue, then I should have thought about that before going to the doctor's. But I was like, "Oh, I have insurance. Easy peasy, no problem." She was like, "I don't know. X-rays are expensive," and I was like, "Shut up." Pretty much. I didn't say that to her, of course, but like that really did not make me feel any better. Thanks, bro. That's about it for that. Okay, yeah. So they took my blood, my breath, and X-rays. Um, not. I think I've gotten a couple results back. I think I've gotten. Yeah, I got the breath test back. Because they were like, we can test to see if there's this kind of bacteria in your breath, and if there is, then that means that you might have like an ulcer or something. They did rule out a lot of things in the tests that I've gotten back, and the doctor in person, he was like, it's probably not this, probably not this, probably not this, which was good because those things sounded really bad. And then took my blood. I think that's still uh, being worked on. Also, a needle injecting, getting like stuck in you, it's a very unique kind of pain. Like I was thinking about that. It's like kind of like a bee sting. I've only ever been stung by a bee once. I think that is probably the closest comparison. But it's such a unique pain that you feel whenever you get that needle in your arm. And like also that vial of blood filled up like really fast, and I was like it was like I would thought it would be like slow, like but it was like whoosh, whoosh, it was like flooding into that vial, and I was like, that's cool, I guess. Yeah, so they took my blood, breath, X-rays. Oh yeah, and then Friday I hung out with Ink. We played games. We drank a little bit. It was a lot of fun. I think that's about. Oh, Saturday. Anything else to talk about the doctor? I don't think so. Yeah. Saturday. I don't usually go to bed so early on the weekend, but then again, it's not really a bad thing. I guess I just feel a little bad knowing that I could be up late doing something fun. I did do something fun today, though. I played Splatoon at Katana's house with Pouty. We lost a lot, but it was still fun. He also had a couple mutuals over, which is cool. Uh, and then there's no quote at the end there. Well, there is a quote. I'm just not telling you because I don't want to. Um, yeah, don't worry about it. Saturday. Yeah, so I hung out with Katana and Pouty at Katana's house. He had a couple mutual friends over. One of them smelled bad. We played Splatoon 3. It was just me and Pouty. And then the setup I had, it was two cardboard boxes with a monitor, which was plugged into my Switch, and then an outlet. And then also there was earbuds plugged into the Switch console. It was super janky. Like it was so janky, it was like hilarious because like it was literally a monitor on two cardboard boxes, and then I like had my controller. And it was really fun, really funny. And yeah, they had a mutual friend over, and while we were playing Splatoon, Katana was setting up a two-person tent in his bedroom because he wanted to go camping by himself, which is cool. I never. It's just I can't imagine that would be enjoyable. Like I think it definitely would be enjoyable, but it's like I think it would just be better with a friend. Like are you going on a nomadic journey? Are you cleansing your soul? Why are you going camping alone? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we lost a lot of Splatoon games. It kind of sucked, but it was still fun. And then that's about all that happened Saturday. I'm like way overtime, I think, on this. But it's fine. I need some water, bro. Oh yeah, on the was it the blood test? On one of the lab results I got back, one of the things I found was creatine, and it was alert. It was out of the normal range because I take creatine daily. Um, I just thought that was funny. I wonder, like, are they gonna be like, "Oh my God, he's dying. He has creatine in his blood," or something? I can't remember what that test actually was. I think it was the breath test. I'm sure the doctor's just gonna be like, "Hey, do you take creatine?" And I'll be like, "Yeah." He'll be like, "Oh, okay, cool." So it's not an issue. Anything else happens today? I don't think so. Sunday, today, no entry for it yet. Throw this out of here. Yeah, I'm so tired. Probably take melatonin. Oh yeah, I'm running out of melatonin anymore. What happened today? Fun little surprise today. Let me take it from the top. Woke up, I think it was like 9 a.m. Stayed in bed until like 9:20, and then I took the antacid and the sucralfane or whatever. And then I played Helldivers to pass the time because I don't usually wake up hungry, and I also had an antacid, so I wasn't super hungry anyway. Played Helldivers for a little too long because I was like, oh shoot, I need to leave for church right now. But I was like, wait, I've been awake for like over an hour. I haven't eaten anything. Am I gonna get hungry at church? Because I literally I'm a little bit scared of getting hungry because like sometimes that's like painful for me because of my problem or whatever. Or sometimes like I can't eat. It's like if I'm hungry at the wrong time, then I won't be able to eat later. I'll just have to starve for like maybe an hour or two until my stomach settles down, which is why I'm a little bit scared of being hungry. Anyway, I was like, wait, should I eat? Because like I needed to leave for church at 10:30. It was 10:30 after I finished the game. I was like, okay, I can just eat and I'll be a little late. That'll be fine. But I was like, wait, I'm not really hungry. While I was getting ready, I mean, while I was getting ready, I got a little hungry. Had a Cliff Bar. It was fine. Went to church. It was fine. I might want to bring a coloring book to the service because, oh boy, it's just so boring. Still gonna go, of course, because I feel like it. But it's like, oh man, it's just that's one of the things that I don't like about church is you can only retell the stories of the Bible so many times, bro. It's like the prodigal son, I've heard that a billion times at this point. They were talking about the story of Ruth and Naomi, which I read in the Action Bible, which is right there, which I read in the Action Bible. I was like, bro, I know how this ends. Like, I don't even know what was the point. I don't know. Be a good person, probably. But, like, what was the point of the sermon? I'm trying to think. I think it's like sharing, like, being nice to poor people or something. You know how Christianity is. Yeah, I might get a coloring book, man. It was boring, but I'm still gonna go. After church, I was gonna go home and eat and then go to the gym, and then computer science texted me. He was like, "Are you free today?" This was an unusual text. He doesn't usually text me, "Are you free today?" He usually texts, "Do you want to play Satisfactory?" I was like, is he gonna ask if I'm free and then ask to play Satisfactory? But that's kind of weird. Why wouldn't he just ask to play Satisfactory directory? Directory? Why wouldn't he ask to play Satisfactory directly? I was like, okay, I think he's gonna hit me up for like rock climbing or bouldering. That was my guess because he had done that in the past one time. He was just like, hey, you want to go to the rock climbing gym? And I was busy that day, so unfortunately I couldn't. Um, but he texted me. He was like, hey, are you free? I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go to the gym, and then after that I'll be free. He was like, what if instead of going to the gym, we go to the bouldering gym? And then we went to the bouldering gym. It was a lot of fun. I completely destroyed my hands. I'm sure they look normal. They might look extra red or extra thicker than usual, because like I'm pretty sure they were actually swollen slightly after all the bouldering that I did. Because it was I did some like hard routes. I didn't complete all of them, but I really tried. I like I said, I tore up my hands. Yeah, you can't really see it anymore, but like I tore a little bit of skin off my hands. Oh yeah, I got this little. You can see it on my pinky, and then you can. Oh yeah, you can see on my middle finger. Yeah, or you see that black spot? Yeah, I guess I must have smashed it at some point. I don't remember doing that, but that happened. It hurts a little bit. Ow. Yeah, so fun little surprise. Computer science was like, "You want to go bouldering?" And I was like, "Sure." We went bouldering, got McDonald's afterward, came home, and then I think that pretty much leads us to here. I haven't done much since getting home. I have eaten. I haven't been very hungry at all, probably because of the antacid, and I think the sucralfane maybe. Um, but yeah, my stomach hasn't felt awful today. It did feel kind of bad at the rock climbing gym, the bouldering gym, and like it was kind of hurting when I was eating earlier. So then I stopped eating, and then I wasn't really hungry anymore. But it's like I don't feel hunger anymore. The specific feeling of hunger, I do not feel anymore. I know what it feels like. I felt it 2 years ago. That was the most recent time. Otherwise, it's just like my stomach feels kind of empty. I just kind of feel like I should eat, but it's like I don't feel hunger specifically. Anyway, I think that is all. Thank you all for watching. I will see you all later. Bye.